As the growing air pollution has become a serious concern, there is lot of thrust across the globe to find an alternative to petrol, diesel, or coal. Recently, the focus has been shifted to clean energy resources like renewable energy, like solar or wind, battery operated electrical vehicles, and natural gas. Indian government is also giving a lot of push to electrical vehicles and natural gas. As far as the natural gas is concerned, Government of India wants to make India as a gas-based economy. Natural gas is the cleanest fossil fuels among the available fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, and coal. It emits approximately 30% less carbon dioxide compared to petrol and diesel vehicles. However, natural gas currently makes up only 6.2% of all energy consumed in the country. And in this regard, the government is targeting its share to rise to 15% by 2030. Today, we are going to talk about one such a company which has monopoly in delivering the natural gas to Delhi and other geographical areas in northern India. Friends, my name is Vilin, and a warm welcome to you all in this series on fundamental stock analysis. Couple of disclaimers before we start. The companies covered in the stock analysis series are by no means a buy or sell decision. These videos are created purely for educational purposes, and idea is to present you with the basic facts about the company, its products and services, moats, and competitive strength, and quick run through on the company's financials. An investor is further expected to do his or her own research before making a buy or sell decision. An investor should study the annual reports, listen to the con calls, study the credit reports so as to gain better understanding on the company to enable him or her to take an informed decision on the investment. So, friends, with this disclaimer, let's start. The company that we are going to talk today is Indraprastha Gas Limited. So in the agenda today we have about company product and services, company's moat, future growth levers, competitors and challenges, financials, key ratios, and we will see in the end is company worth an investment. So let's start with the company's product and services. So Indraprastha Gas Limited was incorporated in 1998. It is a joint venture of GAIL and BPCL, and government of Delhi is also holding around 5% of the equity in this company. The company was listed in the stock market in December 2003. Today, Indraprastha Gas Limited has its operation in Delhi, Noida, Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, Rewari, Karnal, Kaithal, Kanpur, Muzaffarnagar, and Ajmer. It has approximately 612 CNG stations. It is serving around 17 lakhs residential connections and approximately 6,700 industrial and commercial customers. So Indraprastha Gas Limited is in a city gas distribution business or CGD business. It provides safe and uninterrupted gas supply to transport, domestic, commercial, and industrial consumers. The company distributed CNG for use in motor vehicles and PNG for domestic household as well as for commercial and industrial usage. Now let's talk about sales volume mix of the company. So approximately 70% of the sale is coming from CNG vehicles. Around 9% of the sale is coming from the residential customer. So company is supplying piped natural gas to the residents of Delhi and other geographical areas. And around the 9% of the volume is coming from the residential. Commercial and industrial is comprising around 14%. Commercial means the sectors like hotels, hospitality, and then the industrial sector. This comprises 14%. And then sales to other CGD companies, it is contributing 7% of the total volume mix for the company. So let's talk about the growth in CNG and PNG for IGL. The number of CNG stations in March 16 were 340, which has increased up to 612 in March 21. So CNG vehicles, those were around 8.68 lakhs vehicles in March 16, which has been now increased to 12 lakhs vehicles in March 21. So there is approximately 13% increase in the CNG vehicles, 38% increase in the CNG vehicles. Similarly, for the PNG, right, the number of uh, domestic connections were around 6 lakhs, which has now increased up to the 17 lakhs. Similarly, the commercial and industrial section, it had around 2,580 customers in March 16, which is now increased to around 6,700 customers in March 21. So you can see there is a lot of growth that has happened across CNG and PNG business in last 5 years from March 16 to March 21. Now let's talk about the company mode. Since company is supplying natural gas to Delhi and its adjoining geographical areas, there is a huge demand potential. In Delhi, because of the High Court, because of the orders from the Supreme Court of India, the public transport vehicles have to necessarily run on CNG. It has highest number of private cars compared to any other city of India, and most of these cars are getting converted to CNG. It is a thickly populated area having large number of residential and commercial complexes and hospitals, etc. And hence, there is a lot of chance to grow the PNG business and as well as the business, natural gas business, which supplies to commercial as well as industrial sectors. The advantage of CNG is that it is approximately 30 to 50% cheaper than diesel and petrol vehicles, diesel and petrol per liter. Fuel consumption is also better. It is more cost efficient, and as I stated earlier, the CO2 emission, carbon dioxide emission, is approximately 30% less than petrol, diesel, or coal. Some allocation from Government of India of domestic gas for the entire consumption of CNG and PNG domestic segment. And the lower prices of domestic gas makes the economics of switching gas to more attractive, driving growth in CNG and PNG. Domestic segment constitutes around 30% of the total sales volume. As we saw that around 70% of the business is been from the CNG, and then around 10-12% business is from the PNG. And it has diversification in geographical area. So we saw that it is supplying natural gas to Delhi and adjacent areas in the Noida, Greater Noida, and then some geographical areas in Uttar Pradesh. But it also has acquired 50% stakes in MNGL, which supplies natural gas to Pune and nearby areas, and around 50% stake in CUGL, which is supplying gas to Kanpur, Raebareli, Jhansi, and Unnao. So basically, company has been diversified of geographical areas, and it's a net debt-free company. So this is again another biggest moat for the company. Let's talk about the future growth levers. Approximately 125 CNG stations are planned to be commissioned in financial 22. The company is making efforts to increase gas sales volume in the range of 7 MMSCMD. So MMSCM per day is a unit of measure for the natural gas, depending upon COVID situation during FY 21-22. And it will endure to achieve sales volume of approximately 10 MMSMD by financial year 2024. Company is also entering into electrical vehicle charging segment and is planning to commission 50 stations during FY 22 for battery swapping mode. Now, what is this battery swapping mode? It is basically a technique that consists of swapping a discharged electrical vehicle battery with one that is already charged. This would replace recharging and thus eliminating long refueling times, which is one of the major limitations for zero emission vehicles. So company is also venturing into this segment where it will provide the technology for the battery swapping. right? You see this picture basically. So in the EV charging station, right, a car will have to be connected with the car battery will have to be connected with the charging station. Whereas in the EV battery swap station, right, the discharge battery will be replaced with the charge battery. Another growth lever for the company is that, presently five number of long route CNG buses are running pilot project with state transport undertaking, and company is making efforts for converting existing buses of state transport undertaking running on interstate route to CNG. Sale of CNG from mobile refueling unit. This is another growth lever. Plan to increase the number of MRUs in near future for providing gas to CNG customers in various parts of geographical areas. And what is this MRUs basically? These are compact filling stations which are mounted on moving truck, allowing CNG access fleets virtual anywhere. You see this basically. So you don't have to go to CNG station, right? These are the units which are mounted onto the truck actually, and then the CNG vehicles can refuel using this mobile operating unit actually. So the dependency on the CNG stations is reduced. And in the areas like Delhi or Mumbai, which is like very vastly populated and thickly populated, setting up a CNG station requires a lot of efforts in terms of identifying the place, the cost of the setting up of that infrastructure, right? But this mobile operating unit can be an alternative, and uh, it can supply the fuel to the areas where there are no CNG stations as well, right? So these are the various these are the various growth levers. Now we'll talk about the weakness, challenges, and competitions. EV penetration. So I said that government wants to make an India as a gas-based economy. At the same time, government is also giving a lot of thrust onto the electric vehicles. And if the more number of electric vehicles on the road, it means that it can challenge the CNG business of the Indraprastha Gas Limited. Now, Delhi is recently directed at two-wheeler and three-wheeler, right? And thus impacting three-wheeler CNG volumes, which constitute of around 10% of total volumes, right? Significant capex plans. So basically, in the 10th bidding of the regulatory board, Indraprastha Gas has bidded for areas in the North India for the and it will require a capex for around 1,300 crores in FY21 and FY22. The current pandemic situation is challenging basically, and then it means that the normal level demand can be expected to reach only in last quarter of this financial year 2022. This means the company will have the subdued revenue and hence operating profit growth in financial year 22 as well. However, company with its strong balance sheet and healthy cash accruals is expected to withdraw this turmoil successfully and should come back strongly once demand scenario revives. So friends, I have divided this video into two parts. In the first part, we spoke about the companies, its product and services, future growth levers, companies' modes, and what are the challenges that company may face in the near term. In the next part, we will see about the company's financials, key financial ratios. Then we will have a quick summary. And towards the end, we will see if the company is worth an investment. So friends, stay tuned for the second part. And please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.